This isn't a Gibson? Hey guys, welcome back to the Ball Shredder channel. And yes, indeed, this is not a Gibson Les Paul. It is in fact a 100% authentic Gibson Les Paul made in China that I got through AliExpress. Now this is not a new guitar, this is not something that I just got. It's actually a custom order that I placed through AliExpress and received about 5 years ago. But if you're kind of newer to the channel, you might not have ever seen it before because I haven't really featured it in any videos recently. Except I did play it last Wednesday in my live stream and talked about it a little bit. Now the objective of today's video, guys, is that I'm going to do a modification to this guitar. And the modification is gonna make it clear to anybody, whether you are a Gibson Les Paul expert or a beginner who's never even picked up a guitar before. So anyone who takes a look at this guitar, they're going to immediately know that it is not a real Gibson. And I'm hoping that I can do this modification without breaking or destroying the guitar in the process. And guys, if you're feeling that need to leave a comment, to tell me how horrible I am for buying a Gibson on AliExpress, I mean, go ahead and leave your comment if that's what you need to do. But just know, guys, that I've received every kind of comment that you can imagine over the years, dozens of times. So whatever you're gonna say, it's nothing new, and I've already read it over and over and over. So, I mean, hey, do what you gotta do, I guess. And I have to admit that one of the legitimate comments that comes up is, eventually this guitar could get sold or passed on to somebody that doesn't know that it's not a real Gibson. And I am definitely not in favor of that happening. I would never want that to happen to anybody. And me personally, I have never tried to represent this as an authentic Gibson product, as a real made in the USA Gibson guitar. I have been very upfront and clear in videos and with anybody that asks about it that, yeah, it's not a Gibson, it is a Gibson from AliExpress. And I have no intention of selling it or giving it away ever. Okay, but what about way down the road? Dude, bald dude, you're not gonna be around forever. What's gonna happen to the guitar when you're gone and somebody else could be fooled into thinking that it's a real Gibson? And that's what I wanna do in today's video, guys. I wanna prevent that from ever being a possibility. Yeah, I know. Smash it up, put it in the wood chipper, throw it in the trash can, and that'll solve that, right? Yeah, well, no, we're not doing that. And let's face it, guys, most guitar players, if you're experienced and you've been playing for a while, especially if you know anything about Les Pauls, they're gonna take one look at this, like literally a half a second, and they're gonna know right away that this is not a legitimate Gibson Les Paul. Not to mention the fact that the serial number here, this is not a real Gibson serial number. It starts with an S.C, which stands for Steve Clark, and then the numbers represent the month, day, and year that he was born. But yeah, if somebody doesn't know anything about guitars, they might look at that and not have any idea that that's not a real serial number. So we've still got to do something. Now I've been thinking about this for like a long time. I just haven't gotten around to doing it because, like I said earlier, I'm afraid of basically breaking the guitar or damaging the guitar. But I'm gonna do it today and we're gonna see what happens. So I think it was like a year ago, I went to Harbor Freight and bought this set of steel stamping, well, it says steel stamping set. 1/4 inch, and I can get the lid off. Can I get the, yeah, here we go. These are like the punch letters, like, you put it on there and you hit it with a hammer and it punches it into the wood. And it's got all the letters of the alphabet. Does it have numbers too? I don't know. I only need 4 of these letters. And what I plan to do, guys, is to punch in, stamp in the letters F-A-K-E right down the middle of the back of the headstock. Fake. And that way, anybody who looks at this guitar is gonna go, fake? Okay, they punched in fake. If this was a real Gibson Les Paul, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever, there's no way you're taking those little steel stamps and stamping in the letters F-A-K-E on the back of the headstock and basically destroying the value of it. So I think that will, 100% tell anybody that it is not a Gibson Les Paul. And I don't have any problem putting that on the back of the headstock because I don't really care if those letters are there. It doesn't change the way the guitar looks. It doesn't change the way it plays or sounds. And it just also makes me feel a little bit better knowing that nobody is ever going to be fooled down the road in the future by somebody trying to rip somebody off by selling them this guitar at some outrageous price, telling them that it's a real Gibson Les Paul when it's not. Okay, so why did I say that I was afraid to do it or I was afraid of damaging the guitar? Well, you know this kind of headstock right here, Gibson, they're notorious for broken headstocks. These things break off all the time with the slightest bit of pressure. So I've been thinking and thinking for the longest time, like, how can I do this? What would be the safest way to do this? Punch those letters in there and not crack that neck joint or break it off completely. Because if I just lay it down on a table, you see the angle that it's at, right? So this would be flat like this, but you'd have this gap under the headstock where it's just air, and if I put that punch on there and go bang like that, it pushes down, right? So there's the potential to either crack that neck joint or just break it off completely. And I know the haters are going, yes, come on dude, do it! Break that headstock off! No, I don't want to do that. So then I also considered the possibility of, okay, if I can get the headstock flat on the table, but I would need the body suspended up in the air, like at this angle. Maybe I could have another person hold the body, or maybe I could hold the body and have somebody do the punches. That would probably be the safest way, and even better, probably I would have to take the tuners out, because see, then you got these tuners sticking out here. Really, I would want this part of the headstock, the wood, like flat on something, so that there's no gap between like the table and the wood, so that when I punch those letters in, there's no room for it to go like that at all. But I'm too lazy to do all that, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on the table like this. I might regret this, and I'm gonna put some stuff like under the headstock, sort of, you know, jam it in there between the table and the headstock, and then I will very lightly try to punch those letters in and see if that works. Okay. I think I'm ready to try it. You guys ready? Let's go! Okay, whoa, hold on. Change of plan. I can't believe I was about to do it that way. I would have broken the neck, almost for sure. So instead of being lazy and just trying to do it the quickest and easiest way, which would have led to disaster, I've gone ahead and taken the few minutes, only took me a few minutes to take the strings off and take the tuners off completely. And I'm gonna do what I said, which would probably be the best way, is I will have the headstock flat on the table. I will have somebody hold it for me. Let's hope that they can hold it in the correct position. And then all the pressure will be going straight down instead of on this little neck joint right here. And luckily, I decided to practice it like on an old spare neck that I have. See, it doesn't have any frets. I ruined this neck by pulling the frets out. This is just a cheap neck that I got off AliExpress a long time ago. And I know this one's, it's, you know, kind of the same deal, but I did it in the reverse way because the finish is on this side. There's no finish on the back. I tried stamping on the front like this, but that pressure, like that, what it did is it completely cracked the neck joint open right there. And even though it would have been like the reverse still, it would have been the same idea. You're putting pressure on that neck joint. And I didn't even hit the hammer that hard. I didn't even hit those punches that hard. And it cracked that joint right open. And that's what made me realize, okay, I need to do this like the smartest way possible. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. Let's head back down. Here we go. Okay, here we go, guys. I'm trying to get it into the proper position. I've got my stunt double over here off camera holding it for me. And hopefully this works out and nothing bad happens. So, might not be perfect as long as it doesn't crack the neck. Here we go. Yeah. Let's do that a little bit more. Okay, good enough, I think. There's the F. Not going to be perfect, but doesn't have to be. with the A. Up a little bit. Okay, here we go. There's the A. And next is the K. Oops, that's upside down. Gotta put it, where's my K? Like that, right? Yeah. K, right about there. Here we go. And last but not least, the E. Okay, thank you. All right. I'll give you guys like a better view upstairs. Maybe I'll see if I can, I don't know, scratch the letters a little bit more. But there it is, guys. No broken neck joint, no cracks. Yay, success. Success! Now I know, I'm pretty sure plenty of you guys out there were hoping to see me crack the neck or to snap that headstock off. And let's face it, guys, we all love a good car wreck. So sorry to disappoint you guys that were hoping for that. I did not crack the neck. I did not snap the headstock off. Thankfully. And I'm so glad that I ended up deciding to do it the right way by taking this off and having it flat on the table like that. That was definitely the right way to do it so that there was no pressure on the joint. Who knows what would have ended up happening if I had tried it the other way. Probably disaster. So yeah, if you're ever thinking about doing anything like that, you need to do it the way that I did it so that there's no pressure on the neck joint. Okay, now you can clearly see the letters F-A-K-E on the back. Now, they don't show up in white the way like the number and the Made in the USA, they don't show up like that. So, I mean, I hit them pretty hard and you can feel them. They are indented into the clear coat. There's gonna be no buffing that out. Nobody's gonna get rid of that. They would literally have to sand down the back of the headstock and then refinish it. So it's there to stay. I'll try to give you guys a good shot of it, but you can very clearly see the F-A-K-E, fake. So I'm happy that it's there. I'm happy that it worked out. And just, you know, it's good to know that nobody's gonna be fooled or tricked into buying this in the future thinking that it's a real legitimate Gibson Les Paul. Now, because I did that, I had to take the strings off and I took the two bridge pieces off. I can't do some shredding on it for you guys right now like I had originally planned. But, like I said earlier, I did play this in my weekly live stream last Wednesday. So we're gonna head out of this video. We're gonna finish this video off with a little bit of shredding that I did from the live stream. So check that out. And guys, if you're not currently subscribed to me, the Bald Shredder, if you could just take a quick second and reach down and hit that subscribe button, that would be totally awesome. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. It's a Chipson!